the Garden of Light. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more inspiring stories on Storyetional. Once, in a quiet village nestled between towering green hills, there lived a young girl named Lily. The village was known far and wide for its breathtaking gardens, each one more beautiful than the last, filled with vibrant flowers and plants that seemed to come alive with color. The villagers took great pride in their gardens, and each spring, the streets would burst into a kaleidoscope of reds, pinks, purples, and blues. But there was one garden, hidden away at the edge of the village, that was unlike any other. It was called the Garden of Light. No one knew exactly who tended to it, and no one had ever entered, not out of fear, but because the villagers believed it was a sacred place. They would speak of it in hushed tones, describing how the flowers there seemed to glow with a soft, ethereal light, casting a warm, welcoming glow over the entire space. There was something magical about it, something that couldn't be touched, only admired from a distance. Lily had heard stories about the garden ever since she was a little girl. She would sit with the other children by the fire, listening to the elders speak of its beauty. The older women would describe the flowers that bloomed there, their petals glowing like stars in the dark, their fragrance so sweet that it could lift your spirit just by breathing it in. The villagers believed the garden held some kind of ancient magic, a magic that could heal broken hearts and bring peace to troubled souls. Despite the wonders surrounding the garden, no one dared to enter. It was said that only the purest hearts could find their way inside. For years, Lily had wondered what lay beyond the ivy-covered gate, hidden from view. She often found herself standing at the entrance, peeking through the gaps in the vines, her curiosity getting the better of her. But something always stopped her. Perhaps it was the stories she had heard about the garden being a place of mystery, a place that should never be disturbed. But one day, something inside Lily shifted. She had grown older, and as the seasons passed, she felt a growing desire to see the garden with her own eyes. She was tired of wondering, tired of letting her curiosity be held captive by fear. She needed to experience the magic for herself. One warm spring morning, Lily stood at the edge of the village, looking up at the garden's entrance. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a soft, golden light over the hills. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of pine and wildflowers. With a deep breath, she walked towards the gate, her heart racing with excitement. As she approached, the gate, which had always seemed so imposing, now looked inviting. The iron gate, covered in thick vines, creaked softly as Lily gently pushed it open. The moment Lily stepped inside, she was overwhelmed by a sense of peace. It was as though she had entered a different world entirely, a world where time stood still and all her worries seemed to fade away. The garden was like something from a dream. The air was thick with the scent of blooming jasmine, lavender, and roses. The colors of the flowers were so vivid that they seemed to glow in the morning light, each petal shimmering as if it were made of soft, golden light. Lily slowly walked deeper into the garden, her feet making no sound as she stepped over the soft, moss-covered ground. She could hear the faint rustle of leaves in the trees above her and the distant hum of bees gathering nectar from the flowers. Every inch of the garden was alive with energy, as though the plants themselves were breathing. The flowers seemed to lean towards her, reaching out with their delicate petals, as if welcoming her into their world. She stopped in front of a cluster of wildflowers, bluebells, daisies, and violets, whose colors seemed to shift and change in the sunlight. The flowers sparkled with an otherworldly glow, and as she touched the petals, she felt a warm, soothing energy flow through her fingertips. It was as though the garden was speaking to her, telling her that she was meant to be here, that this place had been waiting for her all along. With every step she took, the garden seemed to come alive even more. The path wound its way through towering trees with silver leaves, their branches heavy with the weight of centuries. The trees stretched high into the sky, their trunks gnarled and twisted with age, but they were strong and full of life. The sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting dappled shadows on the ground and creating a dance of light and dark. As Lily wandered deeper, she reached a clearing at the center of the garden. There, standing in the middle of the open space, was a massive tree unlike any she had ever seen before. Its bark was smooth and silver, and its leaves shimmered like polished glass in the sunlight. The tree radiated a soft, calming energy, as if it were the heart of the garden itself. Beneath the tree was a stone bench, weathered with age but still sturdy. Lily sat down, feeling a deep sense of calm wash over her. She closed her eyes and breathed in the fresh, fragrant air, letting the peace of the garden fill her soul. The wind whispered softly through the leaves, and the birds sang sweet melodies from the branches above. For what felt like hours, Lily sat there in silence, letting the magic of the garden surround her. It was as though the garden was communicating with her, showing her that everything she needed, peace, strength, and clarity, was already within her. She felt a connection to the earth beneath her feet, to the trees that towered above her, and to the flowers that bloomed around her. She realized that the garden was not just a place of beauty. It was a reflection of herself, of the light and love that existed inside her, waiting to be unlocked as she sat in the tranquil garden. A soft voice echoed in her mind, calm and soothing. "This garden is a place of hope," it said. "Whenever you feel lost or uncertain, come here, and you will find peace. The light you see in these flowers is the light inside you, waiting to shine." Lily opened her eyes and looked around. The garden was more vibrant than ever, the colors of the flowers more intense, the light more brilliant. She felt a deep sense of gratitude fill her heart, as though she had been given a gift she could never repay. She knew that she would carry the garden's magic with her wherever she went, and whenever she needed it, she could return to find peace. As Lily stood up to leave, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The path back to the village seemed brighter now, as though the world itself had become infused with the same light she had found in the garden. She walked with a newfound confidence, knowing that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she would always have the Garden of Light to return to, a place of hope, renewal, and peace. If you enjoyed this heartwarming story, don't forget to like and subscribe to Storyetional for more uplifting tales.